This video is brought to you by Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, my new book, which is a comprehensive guide to all aspects of music theory necessary for playing rock guitar. From blues to the cycle of fifths, from understanding and using modes to choosing the right notes for a melodic solo, from pentatonic scales to chord construction and keys. It's all covered in a clear and concise manner. With accompanying video demonstrations, jam tracks and tabs, you'll learn to use the knowledge you gain in accessible ways that make sense for less than the cost of a few guitar lessons. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's just recently dawned on me that many great bands have done something that I very much approve of, which is having a go at a bit of 50s rock and roll. That's the genre of music that really sort of awakened my interest in music when I was kind of about that high, to be honest with you. And I've always got a soft spot for any band that can turn its hand or hands to that particular genre. I was just basically on Spotify the other day, and it sort of got into a bit of a rock and roll loop, and I heard Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen, followed by Something Else, the Eddie Cochran song, but this was covered by UFO, no less. Then it went into a couple of tracks from that rock and roll album that Deep Purple did, Turning to Crime. They did that. I think that might have been the last album that they did with Steve Morse. Then we had Ian Gillan's version of Gary U.S. Bond's New Orleans, ELO's roll-up version of Roll Over Beethoven, and following up on that, we heard the Jeff Beck Group's version of Jailhouse Rock. So it seems a lot of great bands and artists love to turn their hands to a little bit of rock and roll. And that's what's inspired today's solo analysis video, because in 1978, a band that you don't really think of as, a bona fide rock and roll band had a massive hit with a rock and roll song, and this is the solo from it. So yes, indeed, Elliot Easton's solo from Best Friend's Girl by The Cars. Fantastic little solo. That's roughly what it sounds like, my interpretation of it anyway. And here's a little bit of an explanation about what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Right then, beginning with the chords we're playing over. 3 chords, F, B flat and C. Although, as we'll see, it isn't quite that as we move on through that. But for now, we'll say F, B flat and C, arranged like this. Now, the reason why I say that it's maybe not quite F, B flat and C is because there's plenty of live footage of the band playing this in the key of E, using E, A and B, and that's apparently how it was recorded, and then somebody, because of, reasons, decided to speed the tape up and make it come out a semitone higher, and that has sort of implications for what's going on in the lead guitar part as well. Starting with this little intro piece, there's two guitar parts here. One is clearly an overdub, but if this was being played in E, this first part, then you don't need the capo. But to get it to come out in F, you can play it without the capo, but it's just easier to do it with it. And it's basically, just think of a D chord shape like this, in relation to the capo. Move it down a fret and then take that finger off, so you're getting that. And we're just kind of doing little arpeggio jangly bits around that, and it fits over all three chords, because over the F chord it gives us an F6, over the B flat chord it gives us a B flat major 7th, and over the C chord it gives us a C6 add 9. And all three of those chords are kind of going to fit here. And what we're doing is something like this. Like that, and just kind of cycling through that. Just watch where you come in with this, because it begins on the and of beat 1. The temptation is to kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, you're in. Yeah, wait for the and of 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and like that. So that's where you come in. Just kind of jangly little kind of hybrid picking arpeggio kind of bits around that. Nothing more really to be said about that. Then that takes us through that first kind of F, B flat, C, kind of a bar of F and then half a bar each of B flat and C. That's 2 bars, and that's done twice. So that little kind of jangly bit takes us through to the end of that 4-bar intro segment to the solo. And then, excuse me, I'm just looking at the tab here, we have we're hitting the B flat to C kind of chord sequence, that section of the chord sequence, and we start with just this little B flat major pentatonic. Could say it's kind of an arpeggio really, like that, just basically walking like that. Like that. And that just kind of lives in that bar of B flat. Now the next part of the solo, the next lick, I suspect, I don't have any proof for this, but I suspect that there was one of those fancy Parsons White B-bender contraptions involved, and there's a couple of licks in the solo where it feels like that could have been what's going on, because the next lick we're basically kind of 8th fret on the B string whilst holding the 10th fret on the top E string, and you give it this. So as you can see, you don't need a B-bender kind of contraption on your guitar to be able to do that, but it is a damn sight easier given the speed we're playing this at and where you've got to be after this lick, which is why in the solo I just went like that. I just played that basically and cheated, but you know, you didn't notice, did you? And then this is all happening over the C chord here, so we play like a C mixolydian kind of lick, which if it wasn't for this note here, this B flat note, it would simply be a C major pentatonic lick, like that kind of thing, but like that. Very sort of country kind of thing going on there. Bend a note, grab a note on the other string, and then release the original bend. And that's like a typical sort of rockabilly country kind of thing. Next up, again, I think there might have been a B bender involved in this bit here, but I kind of approximated it as what's going on there. Well, we're playing kind of in a bluesy kind of country rockabilly-ish kind of thing, and you know, you can make the case that we're in the key of F here, or the key of E with the tape sped up, and you can kind of see how that's coming out of that pentatonic kind of Dorian sort of thing there, just basically minor pentatonic apart from this note. Next up, we're back onto the C chord again here, and we play this little kind of like a mixture between C major and C minor pentatonic kind of like that, something like that. I'll do that slowly. There we go. I don't think he does that last pull off there, but you get the idea. So that's just kind of, if that note wasn't there, it'd just be all kind of C minor pentatonic over the C chord. Again, that kind of minor over major, bluesy kind of thing going on. And this note that he is putting in there, that's just the major third of the C. So then a little bit more kind of hybrid picking sort of stuff, like that. Nice little chromatic passing note, 5, 6, 7 on the 3rd string. And then coming up to now the sort of dying part of, or the final part of this part of the solo, where we go like that, just coming down. That's a C major chord, or C major triad. That's a B flat major triad. We're playing over the C chord again here, and you can see what he's thinking. He's just thinking about doing a little kind of chord scale run to take us back to the F, but he just does the first part of it. Then we've got this little kind of descending blues scale minor pentatonic thing coming on here in F. Now, my first instinct was to play this down here. And if you are in the key of E, then that is a lot easier to play, because the open strings are giving some of the notes to you. But you know, we're having to kind of reproduce it in the key of F, and we've just done this kind of thing here, and you're right on top of where this this run can be played up here, so it just seemed logical to play it up here. And once you hit that bottom F note there, the guitar 1 part, remember we looked at that earlier with the capo, you know, comes back in and takes over, and then all this sort of guitar 2 part does is just restate that run once more, a couple of bars later. But that's basically what is going on in this classic rockabilly solo played by Elliot Easton of the Cars. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo, that explanation you've just seen there, and a jam track to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. $3, or I think it's $3 or £3 a month these days, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below in the description. Don't forget, also linked down below there's you can get access to my new book. It's Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist. Basically, it does exactly what it says on the tin, and you know, if it's useful to know as a rock guitarist, it's in that book. Loads of video examples, tabs, jam tracks and stuff to go along with it as well, and very reasonably priced, less than a bunch of guitar lessons, so go and check that out if you're so inclined. But that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative, and hopefully a little bit entertaining as well. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and all manner of good stuff. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.